All right. Good afternoon, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Before we get started with the HD science, I have a few things to talk to you guys. Um, Also, I want to run through the roster quick to make sure. So, if you're online, make sure just unmute yourself and let me know. Elisa, Elaine,
Here.
Akshay, Sophie,
Here.
Bridget, Dylan.
Here.
Oh, Akshay's on text messaging. Vanessa,
Here.
Joey, Ruby,
Here.
Krishank, Anaya, Ben, Lily,
Here.
Reed, Natalie,
Here.
here, okay. Shirley, did I say your name correctly? And correct me, by the way, if I don't say your name correctly. Amrita,
Here.
Vishnu, Avery, Ria,
Here.
Tate, Lily, Addie, Owen.
Here.
I'm missing a lot of people. It's a tough one to miss. It's not a good class to miss. So, um, I know that you guys have a choice to watch the videos, and I know people who will be listening to this video or watching this video. I don't want this to be a more of a plan A for you guys. This should be a plan B. I do understand some people have activities and stuff like that, but you got to make a real attempt to be here. At the end of the day, nothing beats a live class. Yeah, videos are pretty good. I've watched it multiple times myself to see how it feels. Some of them are really good, some of them are okay, but I just want you guys to be here. This is where the learning is going to happen. Sounds good? Yeah, things come up, I understand, but I would prefer you guys, especially, and if you're a local student, I would rather you guys come to face class than online. Sounds good? Am I making myself clear? Okay. You gotta put in the effort. You have to have the intent. Next, raise your hands or do a thumbs up if you've done all the homework so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, not it. Okay. All right. If anybody is missing one homework, raise your hands. 1, 2 homeworks. Okay. Owen, how much time would it take to get caught up?
Like an hour.
Okay. I would like you guys to make sure that anybody who has not completely done by next Saturday, you need to be done. Okay? Is that fair? Okay. All right. Next question. So on the first day of the class, you had Lily meet with you guys as a combined regular advanced groups. Just talked about the basics of reading and stuff like that. Second class, it was me and Aubrey. Third class, it was Aubrey and Rikav. And today you had also Rikav. So you guys had, this is the fourth class. I would like to hear from you guys, what is the initial impression of the class? good things I want to hear, bad things I want to hear. I don't want to waste too much time though. So tell me. Yeah.
Like, I think it's good. We're not like learning anything like really new. We're just like reviewing about old stuff that we need to know about the test. So I like that.
Good. And honestly speaking, a lot of the things, especially if you're a junior or senior, even to some extent 10th grader, majority is going to be a review. That's why some people do so well in 9th grade, because majority of the ACT stays within 9th and 10th grade range. You don't see a whole lot of trig, maybe 4 questions. You don't see pre-calc stuff. No, you won't. Even the science stuff is all middle school, initial early high school level stuff. So, yeah, things are gonna get difficult, but not too much for you guys. That group, it's a little bit different story. Good, but how are we doing as instructors? How are we teaching? Is it boring? I really hate when things are boring. By the way, I would rather you say it's tough than to say it's boring, because that's where you don't learn things, when you just feel it's boring. You guys feel it's boring so far?
I was just gonna say, I like the way you guys break things down. It makes it easy to understand.
Good. I know you guys had Ricov's second class today, right? And no, I don't know if Ricov told you guys, and usually you won't, but he got a perfect 36. I've been teaching him myself since 6th grade. So I know him well, and he's in Creighton right now, traveling from Omaha just to come and teach here. We pay his mileage and stuff like that. The reason is I know how well he teaches. So how is he doing? Is this making a difference? The English stuff he teaches. We had the highest number of perfect 36 in English in New Horizons history, compared to other math, reading, and science. Just in I know it's a little bit wild, I think it's 2018, I believe, we had 20 students get a perfect 36. Like, our curriculum is just damn good. But the one who teaches can shift between a 34 to a 36, a 33 to a 35. And I think he has a skill. How about Aubrey? How's she doing in math? You guys did geometry, right? What did Aubrey cover last time? What did she teach you guys?
I think it was a lot about like the quadratic formula.
Page 8 of the math paper, right? Quadratics, factorizations. Trust me, I know the curriculum, because I just want you guys to speak up. How is she doing? I know one student did mention she goes a little fast sometimes, so I've already talked to the student right away. I talked to Aubrey about it. Feedback is so important. It's not just a formality feedback. It's something we take it very seriously. Is she able to teach you guys the basics? Let me ask you that question. You should walk out and say, you know what? I think I know this in and out. You with me on this? That should be the intent. That's going to happen today with the ACT Science. It's a totally different ball game. How many of you have taken the real ACT test here? 1, 2, 3. How about online? Anybody have taken the real test so far? All right. So I want to hear from 1, 2, 3. Okay. Maybe you'll speak a little louder so they can hear you as well. So as you know, ACT Science is the last section. English, math, then you get a 15 minutes break, then you go to reading, then you go to science, right? How did it feel when you started the science test? Like, were you tired? Were you like pretty drained, right? Pretty drained. So let's use these adjectives to keep track. Drained. I hear this a lot. Even they use the same word. Drained.
It was kind of like harder to focus, like
Right here. And that's typical word. The reason is, I'll tell you why it's hard to focus. How long your school tests are? typical. An hour, 45 minutes, you get some stuff, you spit it on the test, easy stuff, done, right? Here it's gonna be 4 hours. I have a student, I want to give you an example. She's from Bishop Hill High School. She's, I think now a super score of a 35 or a 36 actually. But I've been teaching her for a while. So in 8th grade, she took the ACT, and look her scores. That was her first attempt. 36 English, 34 math, 35 reading, 8th grader, 24 science. You know what she told me? I just give up. I couldn't focus. You know what she told me? I was hungry. What do you think, Adi?
Yeah, like it gets exhausting. Like you just lose all your motivation.
It's true. And it doesn't take much to slip. You think you got this, right? The minute you feel a touch relaxed in science, just a touch, it's a slippery slope, and it's done. And then you wonder what the hell happened. And it's too late though, because you have to take all over the whole test. So you better watch it. Yeah, you have things coming up, you have activities. I remember a student from during prom in April, she took the April test. She was from Vermillion, South Dakota. She used to travel here, took the class, Maggie, I still remember her name, Maggie, it's maybe 6-7 years back. She wanted a 28 in ACT, and she did really well. She got 32 in English, 27 in math, 34 in reading. But she even was so focused on prom that day. She was a senior, I believe, that she this is what she told me, by the way. That's how I know. She lost focus on actually science. She got an 18. She got an 18. And that was her last chance taking the test. And she didn't get the scholarship she was looking for. You know how much scholarship she lost? $28,000. How many points? Even if she had 22 in science, she would have made it. She got 18. Try paying that damn $22,000. You'll understand. It's not gonna be easy. So I just want to warn you guys up front. If you don't take the full test practice, not the individual science test, people, that's easy. 35 minutes, boom, done. The full 4-hour practice, if you don't put in the effort, you're in for a big shock, especially for science. I've seen reading doesn't affect so much because you just had a 15 minutes break, you're back, you eat and we talk about it, we'll talk about the strategies, but somehow science seems to be is eluding a lot of people to get the score. If you want something, you better put something really, really well. So I want to tell you something, and I tell this to and I was talking to these guys in the other group. I want to tell this to everybody, not just for sports, for studies, anything in life, this can apply. And I want you to listen to this. This is how I try to live my life. I take practice more seriously than in the real thing. If you cannot out-compete, out-practice in practice, then in the real thing, you will not come to that expectation. The real thing should be more of a formality than the practice. I've seen people practice, right? I've been to volleyball games and soccer games. People practice. It's like, what the hell? It's like they're just rolling around, just running. There's no intensity. You got to practice so hard that the real game becomes a formality, not the other way around. Sounds good? You put in the effort, you do the full practice test, you walk into that test day, you will not feel it at all. Nothing. Because you are used to it, you're numb to that one. So I'm going to repeat this. If you want to be successful in college, do this. Out outperform in practice, not in the real thing, because in the real thing it becomes a formality. Sounds good? And and our strategy is going to help you a lot, by the way. Just in 2023, this year, we had 3 students who scored a 9 points increase in their science. 9 points. 21 to a 30, 25 to a 34, and 27 to a 36 by doing these strategies. But those strategies won't get you a 9-point jump. They won't. This does. How many juniors and seniors we have? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Anybody online? 4, 5, 6. Especially you guys. You better watch out. You got to put in the time. Which brings me to the next point. Have you guys, if you're a junior or a senior, have you signed up for the October ACT? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Anybody else online who have registered for the October? That group didn't do well. They have not registered for the October one. And I don't like that. I like preparedness. I don't like chaos. I like to be all ready. Right? It doesn't take much time to register. Why not be done with it? And if you're a 10th grader, you'll be taking the December test. Sounds good? At the end of the day, you guys need, you should want this, not me. I'll try, but you want this. If you want this, if you want a good score, you put in the effort, you'll be in for a surprise. Sounds good? But if you don't put in the time, if you don't put in the hard work, hard yards, don't expect magic to happen. And I had a student who said, hey, I attend this class. I did the homework. Why should I study? That should be good enough. She went up by only 2 points. There was no intent. There was no intent to perform. Sounds good? Am I making myself very clear? Good. We're going to start with ACT Science. You did write this down, right? So you have nothing to write. Put your pencils down. Let's get started with science. Which, by the way, can most likely decide your entire score. Okay? Because you screw up on this, it just falls apart. If you do well, everything will go up. All right. Just like ACT reading, ACT Science is 35 minutes, 40 questions, 52.5 seconds per question. In a blink of an eye, it's done. Okay? There's a huge difference between science and reading. Reading has 4 passages, science has 6 passages. Not too bad. But the difference here is, in reading, when you open a reading test, you know exactly what you're entering into, right? Prose fiction, social science, humanities, and natural science, right? So, how I practiced was natural science, social science, humanities, and prose fiction. That's how I practiced. That's what I did in the real test. No surprises. Sounds good? You already know what you're going to do in reading. What we call the reading code. For me, it was 4231. I hope you guys have your reading code by the end, maybe another couple more weeks. You should know exactly what the order of reading passages. That will never change. You with me on this? So if you go to the reading test and if you want to start with natural science, you flip to the last page, start with natural science. No ifs and buts about it. Sounds fair? Because that's what you've done. That's what you've practiced. Science is altogether a different proposition. Why? Look at this. This is ACT Math, difficulty level versus the number of questions. Number 1 question is easy, usually. This is the kind of best fit line, by the way. 60 is difficult. So it's more of a linear progression. So first 20 is easy, medium, and hard. You already know, so I want to start with question number 1 because that's the easy one. That doesn't happen in science. This is the reason why students don't do well in science, is there's no strategies, because they blindly start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It used to be 7 passages, by the way. And that's what those 2 guys did. Almost all of them have taken the real test, and they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we don't know if the 1 is easy. Look at this for science. Passage 1, it can be anything. It can be easy, it can be difficult. Second can be easy, second can be difficult. So it can be all over the place. If you blindly go 1 through 6, like what happened in October 2019, for example, where people did, some of our students just forgot our strategies and did 1 through 6. What happened was, 1 was the hardest passage, and they got stuck. It was on a genome biotechnology passage. Average, they took 13 minutes. Out of the 35, they take 13 minutes, they are left with what? 22 minutes for the remaining 5. Their confidence was gone, they got drained. Most importantly, they lost their confidence. So there is the forward momentum was killed by that passage 1. Science is all about momentum. And for the momentum, you need confidence. Sounds good? So, that particular October 2019 turned out passage 4 was the easiest. 4, 5, 6, 3, 1, 2. Students who did this got the entire thing done, got the entire test done, and not only that, they did really well. One of them even got a 36. October 2019 was a very hard science test. Sounds good? So, what does it take to identify the easy passage, like you should do? Like math, you want to start with 1 because I already know that. What should we do for science? This is what we do for science. First, you got to be focused. Somebody mentioned that. And you should practice a lot. A full test. Our students average 5 at New Horizon. Best students, 8. The best of the best, 11. Recovered did 11. Full practice test. Some people are gifted. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about people who have to put in the work. Yeah, very few are gifted, by the way. Very few. They just get it. But others, like me, have to put in the effort. So make sure you guys put in the effort. 5 full practice tests. That's bare bones. Okay, I'm talking bare bones. Anything less than that, you're not ready. Yeah, you can complain all you want after the test, or fix it by starting doing this. This is a science reasoning test. It's not a science test. What does it mean? That you don't need a prior information, which is a good thing. They'll give the information, you have to comprehend the passage, knowledge, data, do some analysis of the data, and answer the question. There's this little shift towards a prior knowledge lately I've seen. For example, what is the process of plants producing food? What's the process called? Photosynthesis, right? They expected people to know that. They also expected one more thing in that passage, which I thought was unreasonable. What was the pigment, what is the pigment that's responsible for the what is the pigment that is responsible for photosynthesis? Yeah? Chlorophyll, right? Chlorophyll, the green pigment that makes leaves green, for example, and all those things. That I thought was a little stretch. That was a little stretch. But photosynthesis, yeah, I expect people to know geez, if you don't know photosynthesis, you have bigger issues in your life, by the way. So, but anyway, even in the past days, even used to give that. So it's a science reasoning test. Reason it out is the question. So what is your job? What is our strategies? And this is exactly how it's going to go. So imagine you're ready to start the test. Okay? The first thing you have to do is to literally physically flip the pages, approximately 45 seconds, and scan all 6 passages. It used to be 7. Like this book is going to be the ones you guys, the blue book you have is 7 passages. Okay? 7 passages, or 6. Right now it's 6. What you should do in those 45 seconds is to select the first 2 passages you would start with. Okay, first 2. Based on the following criteria, not in a specific order. It's a holistic approach to this selection, not a step one, step two basis. You're looking for more graphs, more pictures, better it is. Pick that one first, okay? Less tables, pick that first. Less reading, pick that first. You with me on this? So more reading is a problem. More tables are a problem. Graphs are better. Pictures are better. And then if you have a conflicting viewpoint, also called a discussion type passages, you always want to do last, because they resemble the natural science reading passage of the ACT reading, which basically you have to read and comprehend, which is the most time consuming. That's what happened in October 2019. The first passage was on a genome. It was a reading a passage, and people got stuck. So I repeat, first of all, it's a holistic approach, not a order of elimination. A combination of common sense, holistic approach, and you select only the first two passages. Okay? How many? Only two. And I really mean this. One student just forgot and he did all the 6 in that order. No, only the 2. Fair enough? Any questions? Yes?
What do you mean by like only 2? Like you do those 2 first and then you just do the others?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you select the first 2. You do those questions, okay? Then you have, of course, you don't take 45 seconds, maybe you'll take 25 seconds, and select the next 2. Then do the questions, then take 10 seconds. The order is extremely important. If you decide 1 and 4, and somebody did 4 and 1, that makes a difference. So out of the 6, the first 3, your selection is hugely important, because you want to do the easiest question, easiest passage first, because the momentum is all about momentum. You'll gain that momentum you want. Yeah,
That was my question, like what you meant by that.
good. That's what you're supposed to do. They didn't ask a whole lot today. It's kind of, I wish a little bit more questions. One question will lead to multiple different strategies and experience I can bring to the table, but it has to be initiated by the students. Any other questions? Thoughts? Okay, let's talk about tables. There are different types of tables based on the size of the table. Large tables, small tables. 2 small tables are better than 1 large table. Okay, size matters. Then you can have a numerical data-based passage, word phrase based. Select data-based. So preferably you don't deal with the tables first, but eventually you'll have to deal with tables. Pick small data tables first. Okay? Large phrases, those can be really tricky. And people think, oh, I can handle it. And then when they enter into the test, into the passage, I mean, you start seeing the difficulties. Any other questions? Yeah.
What if you have like graphs and tables in one?
Okay, again, that's what they asked me as well. Now, remember the word holistic approach. It's not about just tables, reading, graphs as individual entities. It's a combination of it. Overall, what's the impression, okay? And you don't have much time. You cannot look at the questions. You don't know what the passage is about. You literally, physically flip the pages to scan and pictorial representation of, okay, this passage is more graphs, so I want to tend to towards that. And another question they were asking is, what happens when you have more graphs, but also more tables, but you have less reading? Then, so I can't just have multiple combinations. It's a holistic approach, okay? And more you practice here, by the time you take the test, 4 in 5 of our students select the first 3 correctly. So you have 80% chance as a group we are selecting the right passages. So but again, you gotta put in the practice. And we'll do enough here, trust me. Okay, but I know what you're asking. And I can explain that when you get to the real practice itself. Good question. Anything else? All right, Get your blue books. Let's get started here. Open page number 808. Don't do anything, just open that page, please.
What's the page number?
808. All right, now, I'm going to ask one more time. Do you have any questions about this? How to select the two passages? Remember, the real test, you have nobody else to compare it, right? It's all on you. But I want to practice so well here that you can see how others think and how you are thinking, and start coming to that conclusion about what's the best. And remember, this book has 7 passages, not 6. I'm going to double the time. I'm going to give you guys 90 seconds, and you have to select the first 2, only the 2 you would do. Your time starts now. Take your time, you have time. Be relaxed, be calm. All right, 90 seconds. In the real time, I have only 45. I would like somebody to volunteer the first 2 they have selected. There's no right, wrong answers. Yeah,
Yeah, I did passage 1 and then passage 5 for mine.
okay. How many did 1 and 5? 1, 2. Okay, so we have total 3. Any other combinations? Yeah,
I
Vanessa?
did 5 and 7.
How many are 5, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. By the way, who did 1 and 5? I forgot to ask the name.
That was me.
You have to tell me the name though.
Oh, Natalie.
Oh, okay. All right. Passage 1 should be the last one you should be doing. Why? It's the conflicting viewpoint, a discussion which has no graphs, which has no tables, which resembles a reading passage. Right? And Vanessa, what did you say? 5 and?
5 and 7.
And we had a lot of people say 5 and 7, so let's see. Okay. I would do 5, 7. So, just to be on a consistent basis here, not in the so we are all on the same page. On page 808, at the top, write down 5-7. And again, just to be consistent, okay? Did anybody else had any other combinations? This is where you're gonna really learn, actually. Yes.
I had 3 and 5.
3 and 5. Oh, 3 had a lot of reading, and you have a table. Now look at. I'm not gonna convince you. You're gonna convince yourself. Look 3 and 7 and tell me why 3 is better. You tell me.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And Owen, I want to tell you this, how important this is. You know, one of the things I'm very upset, even with our students, some of them at least, is that the great word laissez-faire, that laissez-faire attitude. Oh, what's the big deal? What, no worries. That attitude has killed them to a point that they're dropping by 3-4 points sometimes. So I would be very, very upset as a student myself if I don't get the reds. Sometimes they're close, and they had a real tough one. Basically, the first 3 were kind of looked the same. So I understand at the time, but this was a kind of slam dunk. Okay. All right. Any other combinations? All right. Now I gave you guys 90 seconds for the first 2. I'm gonna give you guys 40 seconds to select the next 2. 5-7, go. 40 seconds. Time's up. Tell me, what did you guys select in the next 2? And I want everybody to participate. Then when the fun begins. Yeah.
I said 3-2.
How many have 3-2? 1, 2, 3. Any other combinations? Yeah. 2-4. How many have 2-4? How about online students? Anybody? Any other combinations?
I had 6 and 4.
I would have gone with 2 and 3.
Just do first.
And let's talk about it. I just don't want you guys to just because I'm saying, you know why? Let's talk about 2 and 3 versus 3-2. Here's my reason, by the way. Prove me wrong. 2 has less reading or kind of similarish reading compared to 3, but 2 has a small table, very small table with data, compared to the other one has graph and a large table with phrases. And why I don't agree with 4, well, it's quite obvious 4 and 6 are tables. So write down 5-7, 2-3. Yeah.
Why would you put 3 over 6?
6 has similar reading, maybe a little less than 3. 6 has 3 tables, 3 has 1 table. one graph, 6 is all tables. Even though it's a data table, they're large tables. Kind of close-ish. All right? So again, remember, in the real test, there's nobody else to compare with. You make the judgment based on who you are and what you've practiced, okay? I'm gonna give you guys 20 seconds. You're left with 3 to arrange the 3 in that order. So, you're left with 1, 4, and 6. Time's up. Tell me. Yeah?
641.
6, 4, 1. How many have 6, 4, 1? Any other combinations? Yeah? 4, 6, 1. I would have gone 6, 4, 1. Only because 4 has tables with phrases then. So write down 6, 4, 1. 5, 7. No, forgot. 5, 7, 2, 3. 6, 4, 1. So the one passage we would have done last, you would have done first if you had not gone through this. So literally all our students, and that's another way to know if they are New Horizon students, is you'll see at the sign, they'll start flipping the pages. And you know that's exactly how they are prepared. Sounds good? Have you even read the questions yet? No. All this time is about passages. If you screw up on passage selection on the first 3, you're done. You're done. Open page 723.
Could you explain why you chose 6 over 4 first again? Like, cause there's 3 tables for both of them, but
Because
so why did you
remember, you
choose?
want to prefer data tables. 6 has data. 4 has phrases.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I want you to ask. Page 723, everybody. Now, I would like to get really serious like a real test is gonna be, okay? Don't do anything. I want to practice. I'm gonna give you guys 45 seconds. You select the first 2. Your time starts now. Now you got
What
your damn
page did you
serious.
say? I'm sorry.
Page 723.
I'm sorry. What?
723. Time's up. I would like other student volunteer so far. What is their opinion? What is their selections? Go, first 2. Yeah, Eddie.
I put 2 and 3.
Sorry?
I put 2 and 3.
Anybody has 2 and 3? Anybody else? Next, yeah.
4 or 5.
How many have 4, 5? Okay. Next, yeah, Owen.
I had 4 and 6.
4, 6. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Anybody else? Yeah.
I had 4 too.
Anybody at 4, 2? we're not doing well today. We're kind of sucking. Yeah.
5, 6.
How many have 5, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Oh, I had 6, 4.
6.
4.
How many have 6, 4? I would have done 5 and 6. Again, just because I'm doing it doesn't mean that it's right. It's the best judgment. You want to write down 5, 6. Here are my reasons. If you guys want to know, 5 is a slam dunk, hardly anything to read. Graphs, linear graphs, easy to read. 6, small reading, one small table with numbers. So how many got 5, 6? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many online? For 5, 6? Yeah, 3, 8, total 8. Yeah, we're not doing really good. They were pretty hot today in terms of getting these. They did the first one really well. The second they kind of slacked on it. So, but that's how particular I'm gonna be. Everything matters. If you had said 6, 5, it's not the same as 5, 6. Now you have 20. Now you have 25 seconds to select the next two. Go. Only 25 seconds. You have selected 5, 6 already. Time's up. Let's go. Next two. Yeah.
4, 7.
4, 7. How many have 4, 7? 1, 2. Any other combinations?
4, 3.
4, 3. How many had 4, 3? One, 2, 3. Any other combinations? Yeah.
4, 2.
I had 4, 7. We're not doing well. Not doing well. I'm not happy. Look at 3 and especially 3, how big it is in terms of table size. And here's my reason for 4 and 7. 4 has little reading, include data based. 7 has a little bit more reading, has a graph and a table with numbers. Remember, I'm going to stress this, you have nobody in the real test to compare with. You're your best judge at the time. But I want to practice so damn well that the first 3 passages have an 80% chance of right selection. 5, 6, 4, 7. You have 15 seconds for the next 3. Time's up. Tell me.
2, 3, 1.
How many have 2, 3, 1? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You have same thing? Okay. Any other combinations? Yeah.
I said 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Kind of tough one. I'm okay with 2, 3, 1 or 3, 2, 1. Pretty close actually. So 5, 6, 4, 7, 3, 2, 1 or 2, 3, 1. Yeah, kind of. Remember, that's what I'm saying. The last three usually changes. The first three, 80% chance we should get this right. And I'm not happy that we're not understanding this still. There's a holistic mistakes happening. Okay? See you next week. Bye-bye. Have a good day.